When Hurricane Sandy struck in October 2012, things changed for the people of the Jersey Shore. Homes were destroyed, livelihoods were lost, spirits were broken. But in the face of such hardships, what these people needed was a giant helping hand.
You know, I consider myself a native of this region now, playing for the Jets for 2 years, just finishing my second year with the Giants. You know, I've spent a lot of time here, so I really feel like as if this is home.
This was not Steve's first experience with a devastating hurricane.
I was in Hurricane Andrew. I'm not sure exactly what the year was, but when I was in that, we were locked up in my house for 4 days. You know, no light, obviously, and we had a tree fall right in the middle of our house. So we had water just spilling in, and there's nothing we could do about it.
The storm forced many players out of their homes and disrupted the team's preparation for their next game.
It was difficult to focus on the task at hand, which is football and preparing for the Pittsburgh Steelers 5 days later.
I remember Coach Coughlin giving us a speech and saying how like the people of New York, New Jersey, or just the whole tri-state area, everyone affected by Sandy has lost hope because of what happened. People just took it as an opportunity just to instill just hope back in the community.
We knew that we were going to have to take it upon ourselves to give these fans in this region something to be happy about, something to hope for.
This is a great opportunity just to give them hope by winning this game.
The aftermath of Sandy was compared by many to the relief efforts of Hurricane Katrina. Steve Weatherford, a Louisiana native who played for the Saints the year they returned to New Orleans, experienced both firsthand.
I mean, New Orleans was like a ghost town even 6 months after. It was a city of over 1 million people, and in a year later, I think we may have had 300,000 people there. So it really affected it.
I remember I was in high school and I was watching like Hurricane Katrina and just seeing like the footage of that, and I heard Sandy was worse, or if not just as bad as Hurricane Katrina. And I mean, just to be like a couple of minutes, a couple of miles away from that devastation, I mean, it was just troublesome.
Several Giants players visited Seaside to cheer up and encourage those affected by the storm.
When I went there, it was a few days after the storm. I got a military escort over the bridge into Seaside, which nobody was there because it was completely destroyed. And I brought, along with several of my teammates, we brought 350 lunches to the first responders. And a lot of those first responders actually lived there. So I guess they were victims, but really what we were doing was going there and spending 5 or 10 or 15 minutes with guys that were working 24 hours a day for almost a week.
I remember just going to the shelter and again just like seeing firsthand like people like just packed up like into gymnasiums and just having almost like their whole life taken away like in an instant.
I went down to the shore to the several cities that I went to. I didn't really want to talk to them about the storm. I wanted them to mentally get away from it and have a special experience with their favorite football team, or or football players that they look up to.
After spending an emotional day with those who needed it most, Steve wanted to do more. He went back a few weeks later and provided one young Giants fan with a special experience that neither of them will forget.
I took this one young lady she was 11 years old, and I took her shopping at Walmart. I gave them $200, and Walmart was kind enough to match my donation and give her another $200 to buy toys for her family. And it was such a amazing experience because I told her how the breakdown was. You get $200 for yourself and $200 for your brothers, sisters, and mom and dad. And she spent all $400 on her brothers and sisters and mother and father. So, I was so moved by that, but I told her, I said, listen, that's unbelievable that you did that, how selfless of an act that was. I'll give you another $200 to buy Christmas toys for yourself. And I gave her another $200, and she ended up spending the majority of that on her brothers and sisters again. So just to see somebody that's in that situation that has nothing to be so generous it was easy for me to feel satisfied because of her whole demeanor and the way she handled the situation.
But an event as catastrophic as Hurricane Sandy can also bring about an unexpected impact.
You can have everything like in one moment and then lose everything in the next. Like same with football, like you could be at the top of your game and then one game, one day, like you get injured and then you lose everything. So definitely just make the most of life and make the most of everything.
It was, you know, it sounds weird to say, but it was a magical experience to be able to give of your time and your finances and your love to people you've never met before.